Hello everyone! Today we here at GameMate Information Station will be covering Isonzo, a tactical multiplayer first-person shooter set in World War I's Italian front. Developed by M2H and Blackmill Games and published by the latter studio, the game was released on September 13, 2022 for all major platforms except Nintendo Switch. This is the third entry into their World War I game series, which, as the name implies, are all set during the First World War, succeeding Verdun and Tannenberg, which are games set on the Western and Eastern Front respectively. For this playthrough, we played on the side of the Austro-Hungarian army in offensive mode, fighting against the Royal Italian Army. Set between 1915 and 1917, Isonzo's players fight as a soldier in either the Austro-Hungarian Army or Royal Italian Army during the titular series of battles in the midst of the World War I's Italian front. During the loading screens to each map, as well as when accessing the main menu, several historical bits of trivia are interspersed throughout, not unlike what you would see in a history book, museum display, or documentary. These bits help to give incoming players the context behind each and every map and battle, as well as give the game the impression that it's intending to educate players as well as show the amount of research and attention to detail given by the developers. Compared to similar tactical shooters whose maps are relatively flat or scatter their hills and mountains to only certain sections, Isonzo's maps are all vertical in nature, forcing players to either climb up or move down the steep alpine slopes in order to reach their objectives. Being set in World War I, the most common weapons that both sides have access to are bolt-action service rifles of varying length, caliber, and type, with other weapons like handguns, revolvers, and light machine guns being a rarity and luxury, and several of these weapons actually need to be unlocked. With regards to the service rifles, the Carcano and the Mannlicher M1895 as well as their variants cannot be reloaded mid-clip, and all rounds must instead be fired in order to chamber in new rounds, meaning players must be crack shots or know when to fire, which is a critical difference between life or death. The character class system divides players into a number of roles, with Rifleman being the most common, while specialist classes like Marksman, Mountaineer, Engineer, and Assault have limited slots. In terms of gameplay, the combat is surprisingly fair, with spawn points both stationary and mobile spawning players in somewhat less risk of being taken out immediately, and giving them the opportunity to at least make it near the front line. The learning curve is pretty straightforward as well, with the game using many established controls and mechanics found in similar first-person shooters, allowing for a rather smooth transition to this game. While a bootcamp tutorial isn't currently available, it makes up for this by having the player watch training videos upon their first login and match find. That said, once you make it into the combat zone, the game becomes rather harsh and gritty, not unlike many contemporary tactical shooters. Getting shot almost anywhere is almost always fatal. Anything and everything that moves will be out to kill you, deaths are violent and bloody, and wearing a gas mask will become a habit, lest you die of poison gas inhalation. Currently, the main gameplay mode is offensive mode, where the attacking team must capture or destroy a series of points on the map. The defending team must hold these points until either the attacking team's reinforcements are depleted, or manage to repel the attacking team until the end of the timer. The defending team achieving either of these conditions results in a victory for them. Once all the points in the current sector have been captured, the next section of the map unlocks. This process is repeated until the last sector, which, if all points are captured, ends in the attacking team winning. If you're a huge fan of military history, multiplayer games, or first-person shooters with an emphasis on realism, tactics, and teamwork, or just want to try a rather familiar game with a new and unique twist and setting to it, then Isonzo just might be a game worth picking up. What other games do you want us to try out? Let us know in the comments down below. Until next time, this is GameMate Information Station, signing off.